Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Why don't we just start with introductions? I'll first introduce just kind of the project owner. The owner here is going to be Southwestern University. It's technically it's an entity they've set up to develop this property. It's about 560 acres, probably, a little over 200 of it's developable. This is the first phase. I think it's about 60 acres or so. It's envisioned that this is going to be a bit over time. It'll develop it as a mixed use development. With the first project out here is going to be the City of Georgetown's development services building, which will be under construction while we're building the infrastructure. And then it's envisioned, different apartments and offices and maybe an events venue and et cetera. So this is just that first step towards their goal of developing the entirety of the project. So that's who the contract will be with. It'll be with SU560 Land Holdings, which is the entity they've set up to develop the property. They've hired Banberry Development to be the development manager. My name is Carl Paulson. I'm familiar with most of y'all. We used to be known as Catella's Development. We've spun off and became Banberry Development, and will be the owner's rep for the project. The civil engineer of record will be Civilitude engineer, and Mike Reyes and Jordan Miller are both on the call today? Mike and Jordan?
Yes.
Okay.
We're both on that call.
Okay. And then if we could just get, I just want to confirm that who all's here is there a representative from Joe Bland? Okay. And a representative from 5 Star?
Yes.
Okay. Representative from Liberty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And a representative from D&T?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. We'll jump right in then with the project. Just I'm sure you all have read through this, but I just want to kind of touch on a couple things. Let me go to. So this is if y'all can see my screen, this is the property here off of East University, just adjacent, just to the east of the university's property here. You can see the football and track stadium. It's bounded by Smith Creek Road on the north and east side, and then Smith Creek on the west side. So this is the first phase, what we're calling phase 1A. It involves the construction of this. This will be City of Georgetown public right-of-way that comes into the project. The City of Georgetown, as I mentioned, will be building their development services building here on Lot 3. They're expecting that they'll start work probably in November. That's when we need to deliver the site to them, frankly. It's November 23rd, if I remember right. Now, there's some caveats to that with, them releasing the permit when we need it. And as we'll touch on later, there's some existing overhead lines that cross their lot that Encore needs to remove. They'll also be constructing on Lot 6 across the street across the street of Story Tree Lane. That's going to be their surface parking lot that will accompany their building there. Go back to the agenda. So there's going to be this all going to, like as I mentioned, it's all public right away. So it's public water, City of Georgetown public water, public wastewater. It'll be City of Georgetown Electric. Atmos Energy is going to have gas lines in there, and there's going to be City of Georgetown street lights as well. And there's a work out on East University, which is a TxDOT right away, and that will also include the installation of a traffic signal. There's going to be multiple bores under the road. There's, I believe, 2 water bores, a gas bore, and 2 electric bores under East University to get to the south side. So all that, and Mike touches this more, but we're making application for all those permits. And so y'all won't have to do that, but you'll have to get the permits to work within the TxDOT right away, whatever is required of TxDOT. But for the actual bores, we'll be getting those permits. Am I saying that right, Mike?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. There's one, just to touch on one of the boards. So if I go back to, you see here's screen. So one of the bores here is for is a water line here at Somerset Drive and East University, and that's a priority for the city and their construction on Lot 3, because we got to make that bore, and it's phased. The water line's phased, so we can get this bore completed, make a tie-in, and if you've all looked at the plans, we bring a water line service up through Lot 1 to Lot 3 and set a fire hydrant so they can build on their lot. So that's a priority, and that's one of the schedule priorities you'll see in the documents. And that's I think we wanted 75 days after we get all the permits. So is when we need to complete that. So it's the high priority for the project, is to get this temporary construction road that serves their site and get this temporary fire line to serve their site. I touched on so as we start construction, right, we're gonna be under construction probably a couple months, and then they're gonna come in and start staging, and they've got their own staging area. If you look at the ENS controls, they'll have their own staging area for their lot and for the parking lot across the street. That we're gonna have to, y'all have to coordinate with them to allow them access into the site. And then of course, once they start going, they're gonna need 24-hour access to their site for whatever they're doing. Let's see. Touched on the temporary fire line. Okay, so Mike, do you have the plan? I think maybe I can, let me scroll back to, we'll actually see. I can't remember where I showed, sorry y'all. Yeah, there you can see the temporary fire road that comes up to their site. Here's the Encore lines that currently cross the site. So they've issued that project to their construction team. They're supposed to be out there middle of August to start work on rerouting the lines. They're actually going to go along Smith Creek north, and then adjacent to Smith Creek Road to the north, and then along Smith Creek Road on the east side of the project. So they're just going to kind of work around the acreage we have here, and then they'll come in and remove all these lines. But I think that schedule is like middle of August to middle of September, thereabouts. So there will be some overlap with our work, and that we'll have to coordinate with them, mainly allow their crews in to pull their old wires and their old poles. Let me see, back to the agenda. And then we'll just check on the schedule here. So we went out to bid on the 21st. Today's our pre-bid. Last day for y'all to submit questions to Mike will be August 13th. All those questions should be in writing, and we'll issue a response to all bidders for whatever questions come up. The bids will be due prior to 3 o'clock on Thursday, August 20th. And it's just in electronic format only to Mike. And here's his contact information. So the bids, y'all are bidding the drawings. The schedule value is going to be what we use to compare bids and to facilitate any change orders that may come up. that said, if y'all see, you know, the engineers have done their best to put the quantities into the schedule values that are in the drawings. There's going to be some discrepancies, especially specifically what comes to mind is like the electric drawings, right? The electric drawings that we have from the city of Georgetown right now are kind of their first or second draft, right? So we're working with them to get towards the final drawing with them. But what you see in the scheduled values is more reflective of what you're going to see in the what we call the master dry utility plan. So there's going to be like, we're showing like more manholes than you may see in the current version of the City of Georgetown electric drawing. So there will be some things like that will pop up that you'll see like, hey, there's more manholes here than shown in the electric drawing. So but what we're asking you to do is to use the schedule of values. If you see something else like that, just bring it to the attention of Mike, and we'll issue an updated schedule of values to everybody. But we want you to bid the quantities that are in the schedule of values. Let's see. So then we're expecting that we will award the bid by August 25th. And again, this is all private. It's not a public bid. So we'll share an abstract of the bids to all bidders. Let's see. I think I kind of touched on that. So payment and performance bonds will be required and should be included as part of your base bid. That is a university requirement. So the sales tax. So we just refer to the special conditions on how we want you all to start, so that all the public improvements, there will be no sales tax applied to them. So you're all going to have to there's specific instructions as far as how to submit your bid and identify what are the taxable amounts and what are the non-taxable amounts. So if you have any questions about that as you start preparing your bids, please reach out. But it's pretty explanatory in the bid docs. Sorry. So just insurance requirements. We will require builder's risk insurance, and just any additional required insurance TxDOT may require. I'm not aware of any that they need, but they may require some specific insurance for boring under the right of way. So there is a pre-qualification requirement that's just outlined here. So please take a look at that. If y'all have any further questions about that, please let us know. Contract times. Let's see what it needs. So we're expecting that we'll have our permit from the City of Georgetown around the end of August, beginning of September. So we expect to we're expecting the contracts to be signed by the university on September 2nd, and we would turn them back around and send them out to you and issue a notice to proceed September 3rd. We're expecting that we would then have a pre-con with the city around September 10th. And then the rest of the contract times you can see there that are specific to the temporary fire line, the water line, the fire hydrant, and the water line bore I touched on. And then also the lot 6 where they're building their parking lot. So that the delivery there is a little bit later. It's 144 days after we start. We got to get all the storm sewer in that crosses under that lot. And then, as much work as you can get done at the ponds, right? Because they'll be starting work on that parking lot in January is what they're expecting. And so we need to get as much work, we need to get all the storm sewer done so they can work on their lot, and then as much of the pond work as you can, because, you're going to have to look at like how and coordinate with them on access to the ponds as you continue to build on the ponds while they're building the parking lot. I think there are some liquidated damages. These are liquidated damages that the city has given us, and we've just incorporated them into the project here. And then I guess Mike and you want to touch on any of the safety requirements and submittal requirements and things like that?
Yeah, so what we have on the screen here, as we start going, yeah, right on this page here, we've outlined submittal requirements and safety requirements, and so submittals for review that will need to be provided are listed as proof of OSHA 10 training, designated safety representative identified, and excavation safety competent person. So certificate of training, designation letter for all those items listed there. And then any other submittals that we have here are listed in bullet point 3. We could see excavation safety system plan, temperature traffic control, competent person, confined space entry plan, crane plan, and jacking, boring, and tunneling plan. So we'll take a look at those submittals.
That's about all I got. Is there any questions from y'all?
I saw, Joe, you posted in the Teams chat about the anticipated notice to proceed. I just wanted to see if just clarify in that pre-bid agenda that Carl was sharing, section 3 bidding and contract requirements and subsection D contract times. Is that I believe that answers the question in the chat. If that's
No, there should be no stockpiling. This is an import job. No. I think I saw a question on testing come up. So we are hiring RABA. You'll have to coordinate with RABA to for all the testing. So that'll be pavement, all the subgrade, your base, your pavement, your concrete, and all your your grading, excavation, embankment. That'll all be per RABA. Yes. Yes, that is required with your submission of the bid. And be specific in the schedule, like, touch on the, make sure you have those milestone dates that we have identified, for the temporary fire lane and the temporary water, this getting lot 6 ready. So make sure you touch on all those, those are all benchmarks within your schedule. Drew, so Drew Carmen with RVI is on the call. RVI is help design the pond features. Drew, is there anything specific you want to touch on with the ponds?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, maybe other than just the excavation might encounter some rock, limestone, and there's some instructions in the drawings on if that is encountered when you're digging out the ponds. But otherwise, I think everything should be in the drawings.
Yeah, the geotech report is included in the bid documents, and so you can get a sense of what's happening out there.
Can we go out and dig test holes?
Yes. But you'll just need to just let us know when you're going out so we can, we'd have to get, insurance in place, make sure y'all have appropriate insurance and the university's named as additional assured, et cetera. So if y'all want to do that, we can absolutely allow that, and we just need to get the proper, paperwork.
And then who's responsible for staking and SWIP?
Mike, you want to speak to that? Y'all, Civilitude's preparing the SWIP, right, Mike?
Yes, we'll have a SWIP
Yeah.
available.
Oh, construction staking, that's all with y'all. With the bidders.
Mike, we can't hear you, by the way.
Mike, were you saying something?
Oh, no. Can you hear me? No.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was
that's
not.
good now. Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, well, one thing I will add is we are in the midst of preparing an addendum 1 that just has we found some things after we issued the bid, just small clarifications on some things. So mainly on some quantities. So we'll get that out as soon as possible to y'all. All right, there's nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, see y'all. Bye.